Welcome back to Parenting Trail. So if you are a parent or caretaker who distracts the child using screens or any other method while they are having their food, then this video is for you. A small disclaimer before we start off with the video. This video is not to pinpoint you or not to blame you, but to ensure that you have all the details that you need to wean the child off screens and why it is important. So please listen to this video in that particular perspective. Let's start understanding what is distracted feeding. Distracted feeding is nothing, as the word says, it's very simple, distracting the child while they are having their food. So that could be showing a screen, that could be, dancing in front of the child, even if you remember or if you have seen grandma saying, oh, there's a kaka there, look at the kaka, and just feeding the child in the meantime. So that could be a distract feeding. And also there are people who scare the child, saying if you don't eat, the police uncle is going to come and catch you, or the ghost will come and catch you. All of those are distracted feeding, wherein the child is distracted and is being fed. Now, distract feeding is done totally out of love and care. I completely agree that it's done only out of love by the parent or the caretaker, just to feed the child so something goes inside the child's stomach. Okay, that is purely understandable. You are doing that just so that your child gets something to eat. They don't stay hungry, they don't affect their health. You would think it from that perspective, and you're feeding. I totally understand that. Now we have understood what is distract feeding and why it's being done. Now let's come to what is the harmful effects of distract feeding. If you have seen, there are many adults, that is including me, who don't know their own hunger. I don't know how much I should eat. Sometimes I overeat, sometimes I undereat. So I don't know my own hunger. I don't know my own body. I don't know my own body's responses. And when you continuously do distract feeding, what happens is the child doesn't enjoy the food. The child is enjoying the screen. The child doesn't know if they're eating and what they're eating, what the texture is. They don't enjoy the food. They're enjoying the other things around them other than the food. So what happens when you enjoy your meal and eat, even if it's 1 or 2 bites? Nutrition absorption is more in your body, more than you force feed the child. Okay, force feed or distract feed the child. So now what happens? You give the screen. The child is looking at the screen, looking at the cartoons and just having something. There's nothing that's developmental over there, and you're affecting your child's future as well. I completely understand that you're not doing it out of that intention, but it will affect their future. They wouldn't know their own body responses. So what happens? What leads to this? So now if your body doesn't know how much it needs, the child can develop obesity later on in their life, which can develop many other diseases such as diabetes, cholesterol. Let's not name it. There are so many that you already know. So if you don't understand how much your body needs, you overeat, you undereat, all have very bad effects on your health. So that's why distract feeding doesn't help. You think it might help, but it's only for the short term. But for the long term, it's going to be very harmful until and unless the child realizes it and works upon it. So let's not give a chance to that, and let's try to solve it right now. Before we move on to seeing how we can eliminate the screen time during meals or distractions during meals, let's first understand this thing. Okay, if your child skips one meal saying that there's no screen, it is okay. Your child is a human. How long do you think your child is going to skip the meals? You might think, oh, my child is adamant they're going to skip for a whole week if there's no screen. But no, their body will start reacting. They would be hungry and they will come to you. Okay, so if your child is going to skip even one meal saying that there's no screen, I'm not going to eat, and they throw a tantrum and they're saying they don't want to eat, it is fine. You should not cave in. It is fine. After a few hours, they would come to you saying that they're hungry and you'll have to give them food. Okay, so I want you to understand this before we move on to the next step. Now let's see how we can stop distract feeding step by step. The very first and the most important step to stop distract feeding is preparing yourself. That's very, very important, because you have to understand what is the harmful effects, how it's going to affect your child, and you have to be mentally prepared for anything and everything that is going to come across. Okay, so you have to do your research, understand why it's harmful, why should I stop this, and you should be convinced that yes, I need to stop this and there's no going back. So you have to convince yourself and the people around you, which is a bit I understand, which is a bit difficult at times. So you have to talk to others, tell them the same harmful effects and why it shouldn't be done. You should try to convince them. Obviously none of them would do anything that is harmful for the child. So you have to stay strong and you have to convince them, saying that this is what we are going to do as a family for the child. Okay, that's very important. And along with that, you have to be ready for any n number of tantrums that's going to come your way. There are many tantrums that your child is going to throw. It's going to come your way, but you should be mentally and physically ready for that. So being ready, you yourself being ready and you convincing the others is the first and very important step. Please do not rush to the saying that, okay, I'm convinced, I'm just going up. Do not do that. Read as much as you can. Read. There are so many articles that's available. You can just Google. There are so many articles available. Convince the people around you so that even they don't feed the child when you are not around, and ask them also to be ready along with you to handle any tantrums that's going to come your way. Now that you are convinced, the next very important step is talking to your child. Might sound silly, might sound like weird, but you have to talk to your child. That is, if your child is even less than a year, even a few months that you have already started distract feeding, but you still have to talk to the child, saying that, see, we see a lot of screens now. So slowly let's reduce the screen time and we can enjoy the food. Yeah, we'll make yummy meals together and let's enjoy the food. Yes, and we'll stop screens slowly. You need to talk to the child. You think the child doesn't understand, but the child understands a lot more than you think. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to talk to your child. Tell them that we will be reducing the screens and we will be going to a no screen zone slowly, not right now. Okay, and that's very important. Once you are convinced, talking to your child is really, really important, because they are the focus point here. Okay, so do not forget to talk to your child as well. Now that step 1 and 2 are done, let's plan on how we'll wean the child off screens. Okay, so the first and very important thing is, do not go cold turkey. Cold turkey is when snap and say, okay, from today there's no screens. You're just cutting off screens for all the meals. Do not do that. It's very stressful on the child. So rather what we'll do is we'll skip screen or distract feeding for one meal. Yeah, any one meal. So there are 3 meals plus snack, 2 snacks might be, so 5 meals. If you're giving screens for all the 5, then you can start eliminating with 1. Okay, this is the very first step. Stop screens with for one meal. And during that time, what can you do? You as a parent can sit along with the child. Okay, that is the next step. The next step is sitting along with the child while they are eating. That's very important. The child feels so bored when they are sitting alone. So have meals together as a family if possible. By any chance, if you are working and there is some other caretaker, ask the caretaker also to, caretaker could be even grandpas, nannies, anyone, grandpa, grandma, nanny, anyone. Ask them to sit along with the child and have the meal. It feels so weird for someone to sit alone and eat. Usually it is like that. We are like that. But if there is someone that's along with us, we would feel happy and there's a company. It's nice to eat that way, right? Always. It's nice to eat with a company rather than sitting and eating alone. So ensure that you sit along with the child and eat. Okay, that is the next step. So wean off only one screen, and the next step is sit along with the child for the meals. There are going to be tantrums saying that, no, I don't want food, there's no screen, I cannot eat without screen, I want cartoon. But you need to be firm. You need to be firm. If you cave in and if you give screen saying that, okay, let her eat something or let him eat something, that doesn't do any good. So you shouldn't cave in. You should say, okay, if you don't want this meal, it's totally fine. You don't eat this, but you're not getting screen. How long do you think your child is going to stay hungry for? Not that long. They would come back to you. So don't worry about their hunger, but rather stay firm on this saying that no, there's no screen. If you want, you can eat this or you can go. That's okay. Do not force the child. It's okay to go. Okay, so you are giving the child an option that they can fill their stomach or they can go hungry. It's up to them. And your child will eventually come to you saying that I am hungry, please give me food. And you can give the food. Say that again, there's no screen. There's no screen, no matter what, there's no screen. Okay, and slowly what you have to do is you have to start reducing the screen numbers. Say now we have reduced it for 1. Slowly after a week or so, stop it for 2 meals, then 3 meals. It is a gradual process. Please do not think at a snap you can change all of it, but it is a gradual process. So take it slowly. Stop 1 meal, then 2 meals, then 3 meals. Okay, and ensure that you are with the child. Also, when a child plays with food, they might throw, they might mix, they might do something with the food, but it's okay. Let them do it. Until and unless you don't let them explore the food, they're not going to love it. So let them explore the food, let them play with food. It's totally fine. Yeah, they're working on a lot while they're playing with the food as well. And there is one more magic trick that really works for us is letting the child fill their plate. So it might sound a little weird. I started this when my child was 2 years old. We would keep all the food on the table and we serve for ourselves, right? The same way I would ask the child, do you want to serve for yourself? My child was so happy to do that. And he started serving the food for himself, and now he knows, okay, I need this much, I'm taking this much. So I need not be the judge there. I need not say you have to eat this much, you have to eat 100 grams or 200 grams, or you have to have so much. Nothing. My child knows his hunger and he's eating for himself. That is very, very important, and it's a huge milestone. So if you let your child choose their food, take their food and put it on their plate, eat, mix it and eat it, that's the greatest thing that you can do them. You do it for. One more example that I heard some other day is, what if you go to home and they're serving the food, but they're going to the kitchen and they're serving something in the plate and they're just bringing it to you. How weird do you think it is for you? You would think, why are they not showing me the food, right? And you would feel hesitant to eat it even. So the same psychology applies here. You keep the food in front of the child. You can ask the child to serve, but if the child is smaller, then what you can do is you serve in front of the child so the child knows what's going on the plate. Yeah. So I have an infant who is 1.5 years old. So when I serve him, I'll ask, do you want this? He says yes, I'll serve. If he says no, I'm not going to serve that. So that really helps for the child himself to understand his hunger, and for me as a parent to understand how much he wants and how comfortable he is with whatever we are preparing, or how much he needs, and his hungers are met. I understand and he understands his own body, which is very, very important. So letting a child choose their own food, and that really makes it's a game changer. But that doesn't mean you have to cook a separate meal for the child. If the child says, no, I don't want this, I don't like this curry, why are you preparing this curry? Okay, that's the only curry we have at home. You're taking it or you're not taking it. Totally up to you. So that should be the kind of attitude that you have. And slowly, like I said, gradually stop with one meal, the screens for one meal, and then you will ace it. I completely trust on you. I know that you can do it. I know you're an amazing parent or caregiver, and you can just do it. You put your mind into it and you can do it, and see the difference. Once this is done, you can see the difference in your child too. You can see how differently they behave towards food, how differently they are loving food, how involved they're getting into food, how their taste buds and taste is developing, and they understand their own hunger, they understand their own body. You can see the massive difference on your child as well. So just ensure that all these steps are followed, and trust me, you can ace it. You have got this. If you have any doubts or any questions, please do not hesitate to comment below. Also, you can go to my Instagram account and you can DM me over there as well. So the Instagram link will be given in the description. Please do go ahead and check. So hope this video really helped you and you are ready for this big change in your life, big positive change in your life. So let's get to it. Hope you like this video. If you did, and if you think this video would help anyone, please do not forget to share this video. Also like and subscribe to my channel. We'll come up with more informative videos for you. See you next time. Until then, bye bye. Take care.